I completely forgot that if you close the game and open it back up, Nico does actually realize that there's something going on and does have something to say about that. It's only been a couple seconds for him, but it's been a few days since I last opened up OneShot for me. It only makes sense with the whole metagame aesthetic that they're going for, but it does make it a little bit hard to do commentary for. So that's why you get a section like this. Anyway, it's the Glen. Certainly a lot greener, and not just in color, but also in liveliness than the Barrens, but also not any less gloomy or hopeless. Well, at least the goal is in sight. So it's really just a short hop and skip through this area to get there. Due to the fact that there's no real saving or loading in OneShot, I am going to have to occasionally do sections post-commentary like that, as I forget exactly how the game goes sometimes. So yeah, up here, the first kind of like a settlement, at least non-robot settlement around here, housed entirely by bird people, my people. Yeah, you would think that holding on to the sun would be a little bit more dangerous than it is, but I guess it is just a very basic incandescent light bulb. And unlike the previous area where it was all about getting the phosphor energy from shrimp, it's fireflies in here. Fireflies and I believe a lot of like phosphor trees that exist around here. Fortunately, I think a lot of them have actually been cleared out from the first area, but you do still see the stumps hanging around. Yeah, right here. And there's also a lot of like the moss balls as well that are apparently providing light. And as you know, it's only going to last so long, until I guess only these clovers are left. They seem to be the hardiest and most long-lasting of any plant around here. But they don't really seem to exude any phosphor by themselves either. Fireflies are the other thing, as are gigantic squares. They explain a little bit later on that this is an area full of a lot of ruins, that, civilizations that were not just the Refuge apparently used to live out here. Oh, yeah, there you go. But they were not very original in their housing designs, I suppose. It's not just a bunch of the squares appearing out of nowhere and kind of corrupting the world around. I guess the ground itself is starting to fade away. I had somebody saying last time this game, was depressing for some reason, and I got to agree with that. Everything is very... Certainly, like, some people are living day to day and they're doing okay, but there is still always the looming threat of everything, like, literally crumbling into the void at any second. And even if the sun is restored, as Silver was saying last time, it's still kind of questionable as to if that will truly fix the issues that plague this land. It seems like there's at least a lot of moss and everything in the water that is causing like some very glowing vein-like patterns in there. Makes it at least a little bit easier to tell, but yeah, you can see that the ground and the water itself not very easy to distinguish between the two. People making a lot of stew around here. I guess I can understand that. I don't really know what the best way of preparing the fish they got around here is. As far as I know, it seems like most of the sea life that you see just exists to provide... I mean, it's called phosphor. I don't know if it's supposed to be like phosphorus or... Yes. Oh, is it only the three things? And Nico, I can say with relative certainty that you are pretty cat-like. I've played several games about cats on this channel, whether it's Persona 5 or Puss or even Well, no, I guess OneShot that was a fox, but you know. Which I guess would be the Refuge. Kind of saw that in the background a little bit earlier, but it's a much, much larger city than this ever was. It sort of goes with the theme of going from the very barren area to a slightly more populated village, and then to the big city itself. Bright lights, big city. Well, I mean, even right now, it's like just kind of carrying it around and showing it to everybody. That is also something that, you know, certainly just by being here, just by hanging around, you are providing more phosphor. It's the actual name of it, to the plants around here. But I mean, I guess it's doesn't really compare to, you know, sticking it on top of the tower and recreating the lighthouse that is the source of all light and hope in this world. Yeah, I'm going to talk to all of these goats. Don't really get a lot of chances to talk to animals around here. It's really just the goats and the shrimp. Mostly because not too much else remains. It is a game that certainly does have a certain amount of hopelessness to it. And although maybe not on this run, I think Nico's going to be able to do anything about it. Perhaps in the future, because I have been told in the last episode that there are like two main routes from what I understand in the game, but the third one is pretty large and isn't going to only take the one episode that I was thinking. Though we'll see how that kind of happens. Once I play through the game regularly, I'm kind of thinking that it will be... I'll probably just crank it right into post-commentary, and we'll just get a big set of scenes that are added into the game that are new after the first shot. Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility to be putting on somebody that you just met, who's constantly pushing up their glasses and doing the I don't know. When you have the glasses flashing like that, isn't that supposed to be more of a sign of like aggression? Because from what I understand, if you have your eyes obscured like that in anime, it's usually not a good thing. Couldn't really tell you. That's fun. No, I was just here to ring that bell. Yeah, you know it. You are no fun, Nico. And I think I know what guy that he's referring to there. But I guess those little coin things are valuable in some way, but also not, one of a kind. Well, nobody can read this thing, apparently. I can appreciate that. I mean, that's how you collect things. I do like the style of these gigantic monoliths around here. Certainly gives a very, like a strange atmosphere to this place where there's just a lot of walls hanging up everywhere. And it kind of surprised me that for as little as Nico knows about like the world at large, still able to recognize an altar immediately. And also the it looks like in the background that is the light bulb symbol that you saw in the very beginning. Need to shove the light bulb into the door to be able to exit the mysterious dark room. Not entirely sure what's up with that. I don't remember. Oh, so I'm guessing probably similar to this amber. You know, given that I am supposed to be the god of this world, I guess it would make sense that there is some sort of, like, religious customs. I mean, for a place that is very high technology, a lot of robots around here, there is still, like, a devout following of, like, prophecies and the like. Technology and magic existing at the same time, working together in harmony. Perhaps the robots are made partially of magic. Or something. I don't know. It's hard to say. Not really too much else around here. And from what I remember, the actual plot, like the actual thing that you're supposed to be doing in the Glen, is south from the very beginning. But I think going up north kind of gives you more of an idea of what the area is like and the sort of people that are living here. Even in the most desperate of times, suburbs can still exist. Yeah. I mean, I can certainly do some stuff. Yeah, really cool. That's maybe a way that I've never been described before, and certainly will not be described as since. I already talked to you, right? Yeah, catching the fireflies. Well, I suppose there's at least more than just shrimp around here. There are several different places that you can harvest energy. And yeah, you can actually see the proper trees around here rather than the ones that have apparently been cut down. They're very symmetrical. Yet they have very little space to live. Only a couple tiles vertically there, and that's about it. I do wonder with these people if that's supposed to be like literally a second set of eyes on their head, or if that's just, I don't know, how their hair looks. Hey, Nico's got short blue hair and 2 cat ears on. Are those actually ears, or is that just part of his hat? It's kind of questionable. Oh, and did have somebody say last time, hey, I thought that Nico was a girl. It's like, it's supposed to be ambiguous. I have absolutely no idea either. But, I don't know. I just think of Nico, you know, like Nicholas. But I don't think there's any actual official word on it one way or another. Some nice trees, though. And hey, some robots. Much like how the robots in the Barrens were blue, these robots are green, and I believe that does continue even on into the Refuge, where the robots appear kind of like red, maroonish colored. Dr. Silverpoint. I wonder if that has anything to do with the robot Silver that you met out in the Barrens. No, one more guy up here. I will have as nice of a day as I can, considering that the sun is no longer in the sky. Oh, speaking of the maroon robots, right here. I guess it would probably just be the phosphor used to energize each one of these robots. The ones in the Barrens being the phosphor shrimp, and then these ones being the moss, trees, fireflies, everything like that around here. I mean, ocean. It can be traversed by a rowboat. I don't know if I would call it that big. Overall, the world of OneShot, or at least this world, not Nico's world, is like kind of small, but still pretty compact, especially with how huge like the city you'll eventually be seeing is. Obviously not going to be taking that. Don't think that robot would cotton too well to it, and I don't think Nico would either. Well, certainly we saw earlier that a lot of people were. Plenty of like chop down trees over there. Stumps. The word I was thinking of was stumps. And indeed, a sample of water labeled water sample. Hey, wait a second. Why are you the only robot that goes beep boop? If I actually let Nico try to imitate a robot earlier, he would have been made fun of for saying beep boop. Yeah, somebody just needs to defragment their hard drive. It'll fix it up pretty nicely. Get rid of a lot of bad squares that way. Research station, I guess, is where I'm at right now. But let's go back to the village, see if I can't trade away this vial of water for something. Not really sure what exactly I would want to trade it away for, but certainly wouldn't hurt to try. It's not like a tube of water is going to be very useful otherwise in this circumstance. Nope, ain't gonna be using that. I happen to go in here. Oh yeah, that's just the altar room. Alright, well, send me back to the forest, and then I do believe that there is also another area I can go over to the right. Yes, I did remember that correctly. Just a lot of people saying that 9 plus 10 equals 21. That's a reference, right? You were a bad robot. And I can't just go in there. Alright then. And that's the entire puzzle of this area. Finding some sort of writing implement. Good stuff. No, nothing? Can't interact with those. Well, not great for that one guy and his sister, I suppose, but hey, at least I know where they're living now. It's too bad they're not red. Then you can just eat your way through. That's another reference. Anyway. Oh, yes. I was wondering when you'd show up. Sure, it's a good idea to be down here, Computer Man, because, you know, it's very... I don't know, wet area? Damp around here? Yeah, Nika will not be able to progress. Here, check this out. That's on my other monitor. So I wonder what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, anyway. Yes, I did remember that pretty well, so I set up the display capture ahead of time. I mean, it's not even just the most accessible place on the machine. It is also, like, on my largest monitor. Yep. Well, I'll know what to do when the time comes. You can also talk to Windows 95 again if you do need more hints on what to do. And from what I remember, the next puzzle that it has working for me is much more questionable than the last. But I do remember at least how to solve that one. So, whereas the first time I played the game, it was just me kind of... I'll get there when I get there. More vines. I do believe the place that I want to actually go is right over here. Well, not here, but... Yes. Just all these cubes all around the place. Cubes, squares, rectangles everywhere. Well, given that I need to get rid of the sun to go do some sheep herding, that's pretty much the plan of what I want to do right now. By the way, can I travel from here? No, it's still considered indoors. It's a very large area. Seems like it might be able to be enough to leave that place, but not quite. Well, I do want to explore around here a little bit first, because I do not remember what this area is. Great. Alright, let's go herd some sheep. Alright, Sokoban time. Because, I don't know, there's only so many puzzles that I think you can do in a game like this, but this one should at least be fairly easy, all things considered. Oh, you know, I never went over to that left side with all the fireflies around there. And I guess I got it right. Got an achievement for that one, too. For herding rams with ease. Well, it might be useless, but it is an item, so... Also, you saw over on the tarp this guy has laid out that he does have a lot of wool on here too. Maybe I should have actually haggled a little bit to try to get something better. I mean, I guess it is kind of important in the way that it could, work as ink, but that's only so... That's only going to get you so far. Besides, given the way that this game is going... both delicious. Yeah, given the way the game is going, you might be able to get something a little bit better for that. Or maybe not. It's kind of hard to say. And yes, you can't actually step on them. Alright, well, let's go back to the gate, I guess, because from what I remember, yeah, this was blocked by vines before. Also, a lot of clover is just leading immediately up to this, which is a bed. Always with the beds. And blocks all around the place. I mean, you know the deal at this point. I mean, they do have wheat, as we saw in the grain storage building, but I'm really not entirely sure where they're even growing that right now. It is. Yeah. That's alright. For the most part around here, just get a lot of corn. A lot of corn. Because I'm in the Midwest. I mean, I would have gone more with, like, kelp or something, but, point taken. Yeah, I'm in the Midwest. I mean, I can tell you what a particularly large lake looks like, but that's about it. Doing the ooh face. Or oh face. Whatever. Alright. Go get that sun and go... find that guy's sister or something, since that's been kind of, maybe a point which I haven't been too proactive on just yet. Ah, yes, this was the area I opened up. I kind of forgot where I was going for a second. There's only so many places that you can find here that even do anything, but still messing that up sometimes. So needless to say, gonna be doing that, and there we go. So I guess it is entirely possible to get rid of those corrupting squares, but not really, I'm gonna guess it's Windows 95 that needs to be able to do that. Calamus and Alula. There's some sort of reference there, I got no idea. I guess. How long has the sun actually been missing, if you still remember what it looks like? I guess it must have not been for too long. Eh. Yeah, very RPG Maker once again. You got the conga line style of party members. Not that I'm gonna have her with me for too long, but it is interesting that it's still implemented in the exact same way as you would have in a classic RPG or RPG Maker game. I'm just going to the forest, right? Yes. You know, I might have gotten some different responses if I went and talked to people with a party member, but I guess we're not doing that. Do that next shot, I guess. I mean, despite the fact that Windows 95 is very adamant about the fact that I only have one shot, you'd think that as a computer it would know how easy it is to manipulate PC files, after all. Well, it's not there anymore. I don't know. If I was gonna guess, I would say those squares maybe are being controlled a little bit more than people might think. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, that and the fact that, you know, all land masses appear to be just kind of disappearing into nothingness, more fragile day by day. Seemed to show something that a little bit of extra light around here couldn't fix. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. You are a video game protagonist. Another object very similar to the amber that I got from the first area. Glowing yellow. Like the sun or like Nico's eyes. It's all connected, you see. I think. Could just be a coincidence. That has got to be one wacky looking lady. With glowing edges. And now it can work as... I don't know. Hey, wait a second. Is it? Did you get it for that? No, don't mind me. I just... Maze? Oh, come on. Powerful plant spirit. Yes, gods and spirits. All around this world. I wouldn't really say that might. Oh, come on. No response in the book? You would think you'd have something to say about that. What about the amber? Okay, well, at least you got something. Enough about the squares already. Yeah. Endless amounts of stew. Not really going to be lasting for too long, after all. Oh, well, that's pleasant. Anything else to look at, or... No, I think that's about all I'm going to see in the house here. Some cold coals. Wait, you left that thing running this entire time? Seems like that was a bad idea. Well, you know, funny enough, I don't think I actually went to this area in the first time I played this game. Huh. Alright, so what's up with this whole deal? I mean, it's got some moss-covered cubes, but that's about it seems. And balls. Well, I guess it's okay that I didn't really go here. It doesn't really seem to be too much, at least just yet. Another area where you see some sort of yellow light at the very end. None of you can swim? Nico, take a look back over there one more time. Nah, nothing. All right. I was a little bit curious as to... Because that was very similar in style to a lot of the... Yes. That was very similar in style to a lot of the... to the area that I was in before with the... With the ore mine, but didn't quite get the same sort of response. Thought there was a possibility that that might have been connected in some way. See mysterious yellow lights at the end of it, but I suppose not. Can't believe I didn't get a response about the book at all. Well, that's not good. So I guess the light is dependent on... I guess the sun is dependent on Nico to actually be lit up, and that's not good. Given what the actual plan of what to do with this thing eventually is. Of course, being named Maze. What else? What else would it be? Well, anyway, with the sun in hand and I guess a feather and a bottle of dye, that's enough to gain entrance into the city. It's a very lax vetting process to get in there, but I suppose that only works to Nico's advantage. In the meantime, just got to get outside so I can actually do the... Here we are. Just got to get outside so that I can actually do the teleporting around. Although, with a couple new objects, perhaps I might be able to trade up. Get something else. If I can find the area that I'm actually trying to get to. Because after all, it's like, I don't... You know, maybe that guy's got a real pen over there and not just a feather. Now, I've never actually tried to use like a feather and quill type of trading, but feather and quill that I traded for as like some kind of... I mean, it almost assuredly is, but I don't care. Oh, come on. I also have a little bit more respect for the guy. Oh, come on. I wanted to, and I also wanted to try to, you know. Anyway, quills I assume are difficult to write with, is what I'm trying to get at. So can I trade it? Okay, fine then. All right, well, just combine these two for a feather pen? Yeah, fair enough. Maybe we could trade it for a real pen, though. All right, fine. And I guess that's just about everything I'm going to be trading around here. All right, let's get to the gate and finally get into the Refuge. Yes, that's what the place is called. Good luck. Yeah, I'm sure it was real difficult to just... Yeah, I'm sure you wish everybody luck walking into the city. Well, this is quite the ledge up here, isn't it? Not too much to see, but you do get fairly high up. All right, fine. I guess it's just a basic barrier. No going backwards after all. The robots... The robot is gone, as well as the area to walk back here is entirely blocked off now. Wouldn't surprise me at all, though, if one of the later things that happens as you get farther in this game is that you do get some sort of ability to kind of go back. Because Silver in the Barrens does seem like a very important character that will be worth returning to at some point. And, you know, given that the Glen is kind of over with, normally I would end the episode here, except I do think getting the first little bit of the Refuge done is a good idea. Because the second part is certainly quite long. It is the ending of the game, after all. Or at least the ending of the first shot. Yep. Did remember that. Not at all. Oh. Okay, well, I guess that's a little bit more straightforward than I thought it was going to be. I wonder if the fact that the floor is missing there is a result of the, I don't know, corruption or something else. Also, hey, I get it. I mean, it is like a magic seed. No, probably not. But I mean, that's just the world that you're living in right now. Except you don't actually live here. That's the world that Maze was living in, I guess. Look, if that's like the Sacred Garden, I assume that they have some sort of... okay. Oh, right. That explanation. I thought you were going to give me some more instructions on how to grow a plant, which maybe would have been more useful. And Slam and welcome to the jam? Certainly an interesting way to get into a city where everything is... I mean, you see everything from a very, very high vantage point. Where what appears to be some sort of like 18th century lamplighter is trying to work on an elevator. Well, 18th century lamplighter by the way of like the second character that you meet in Eve? You remember Eve, the RPG Maker game? Which was spelled I-B, Ebe, on the title screen. I think that guy also had purple hair too. Of course, it's like, why would I think of that immediately? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that this is clearly an RPG Maker game. Indeed it does. I like the contrast of the door color with the tower, but... well, the elevator shaft. I don't know if there are like a bunch of squares in there, because that's really the only thing that I can think of. That old, obsolete operating system sure has been trying to impede the journey so far. Quite a bit. Figure out something. Yeah, case in point. There's a bunch of them. They're all just kind of hanging around, preventing me from doing just about anything. I guess it's getting significantly worse as you get closer to the tower, or maybe it's just close to civilization. Or something. It's either that or the amount of squares around here are making it a little bit difficult to wander about. It's kind of hard to say. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I see that shining object too. Hey, you didn't need this or anything, did you? Figuratively or literally? Speaking of which, where are all those robots then? Maybe they're on break. I like both in coffee. Well, I suppose maybe going off of the idea that you can use coffee grounds as like a fertilizer, maybe I should go throw that onto maize. But aside from that, it is an object, which means that I am going to be using it for something soon enough. There's still quite a few things to explore around here, too. This is a residential area, and from what I remember, if I'm going over to the west, I can see some of the apartments that people live in. The very tiny, very Spartan apartments over there. It's a big city. A lot of people are living here. You understand? It's not the easiest thing to get real estate. Maybe we got to find some dirt first. I mean, I would think that coffee grounds could also function as dirt, but I don't know. This is just an aluminum can, so maybe it's not the best thing to try to like get some sort of fertilizer out of. But Nico's in a bind here. It's not the easiest thing to come by, that sort of stuff. The color theming is very intense, especially in this area. Well, it is intense in pretty much all of the areas. Ah, it has to have a light on. Of course. I'll say it's abstract. Well, hey, you don't want to just broadcast serial numbers to the internet. I would definitely disagree with that. But fair enough. Now, is that a legitimate computer or another instance of what I assume is the villain of the game? All right, then.
Hello.
Good stuff. I can see why the person living in this house is pretty morose. Oh, that's very tacky. Yeah, I would say the tamed probably is like literally, you know, interacting with a robot until it gets to the point where it is sapient. That's got to be exactly what it is. Learning algorithms, always being learning. Nothing on the shelf though, and I guess these are computers that people actually use as computers. Yeah, gee, I wonder what. Yeah, the plants aren't looking too good without that around. So just some very, very tiny apartments with robots. Certainly a lot of robots, but I don't know. Resistors right on it. Weren't you, though? Weren't you, Nico? Still nothing. Yeah, you do get an achievement for riding around on it, but I already got that, so I don't care. And you can see examples of each one of the plants around here. And also one of the city residents who appears to be... he has a pot for a head. I suppose is the easiest way to put it. I'm not going to say anything else about that. Yeah, you know anything about Maze? Because I've been tasked with regrowing or growing her child? I'm really not entirely sure what's up with that, but I mean, you know. Can I combine these two things? No? Okay. Well, it was worth a try. Still merely a sink. That's an interesting choice. An owl trowel, I guess? A owl? I guess that's the only thing I can possibly think of. And so they create phosphor sap. They're not just part of the tree itself. Why would you need to chop those things down then? I mean, you can't really grow it just about anywhere else around here. Yeah, you don't really see any regular trees around here. Well, if we might be able to do something with the sun here, that could turn around eventually. The most tsundere of flower plants is an Undertale reference. Okay. Well, that's not an Undertale reference, but I made the Undertale reference. Well, an interesting look at the foliage of the... Still don't have an actual name for this world yet. It's just the OneShot world, I suppose. Any interesting books this time? No, it's literally phone books. Very, very useful. Sure am. You just kind of hanging around here? Admiring scarves? You know, for living in what appeared to be a pretty like sun-drenched, like a village that it was growing wheat and everything, Nigo sure is dressed up pretty warmly. The scarf, got like the big old hat on. I don't know, kind of strange. So I guess when the sun was actually in fact in service, it was quite bright. A lot more so than it is right now. And I do see shining objects down there, so that's obviously the thing to go get right now. Ram, a strawberry, a robot, I guess, and I'm guessing one of these like little amber tokens. That's the only thing I can think of. Bright red water would make me worried. And that's why they need all those water samples back there. Just because it is very non-potable in the city right now. At least that's what I'd like to think. Alright, well, got a metal can, I got some magnets, but I still also got a couple other areas to check out too. if they're not entirely... Yeah, go for it. You know how this... I said last time you know the drill. Certainly you know the drill now. Yep, dreaming about pancakes. Yeah, sure, I like them well enough. Not a big fan of them having syrup on them, though. I like savory pancakes. Just a little bit of butter, and that's about it. Same thing with like waffles and everything. Oh no. Yes, my neighbors. My neighbors indeed. I mean, unless you can eat people yelling at you. No, it's actually not been too long. If you stop taking naps all the time, you'll probably already be back home. Alright, and I think the last area that I got to go to, which is kicking it. A little bit of percussive maintenance. Gotta say, it doesn't really seem like the best idea. No, that is... I swear there was one other area that I could go to around here that I haven't checked out yet. I think it might have been over here. Yep, it definitely is. Oh, I thought that was another cactus. Well, aren't you straight out of the Phantom Toll booth? Indeed. Which is too bad, because I would definitely steal this. Well, anyway, I don't know if I have anything that can really work with that right now. Computer terminal, but not that kind of computer terminal. And same thing. But clearly the only thing that I have to, actually work with is oh, it's you. Alright, strange transparent sheet. Got to expose this to the void, which was something that did, kind of trip me up for quite a while, actually. But all you really have to do is to, expose it to the outside of your monitor, basically. Just drag it out of there. What I did originally was just kind of move around the window wildly until I accidentally figured out that, whoop, that sort of thing. And there it is. Unfortunately, I am going to have to kind of readjust the window here so that it actually is back in the center. But hey, I do believe you also get a unique... Yeah, I hit 10 hours. Yeah. There's a couple of these cutscenes for that. Yes, don't worry. It just happens. 63014. Good stuff. I'm gonna guess nothing else to say, of course. Well, that's not really going to be too relevant until I solve the other problem at hand anyway. Locked. I am willing to bet that given the way that there is one of those computer terminals out there, and there's a big locked door there, that there might have something. There might be a connection between the two. Well, yeah, given that we've only seen like 5 people otherwise. Even if half of these buildings have a couple residents in them. Yep, I even saw they got a clock tower there. Pretty schwanky. Wait, that clock tower is clearly over 2 stories tall. Let's just say a city, basically. It's an interesting idea of learning that, you know, a god of something would live in a city. But, you know, I guess that's just kind of how it is in this game. The prophecy is the way it is, and you can't really change that. Alright, well, a little bit of lore later, and now I got to do something. Oh boy, this is definitely going to be another place where I cut. Well, I suppose first I can throw the dirt into this pot. Ah, yes, right near one of the places that you can open, there is this area that I forgot that I could go to. Bunch of lockers, I suppose? But also somebody cutting their hair. I guess? Who's cutting their hair? Well, anyway. No, it is absolutely not supposed to be this simple. But hey, at least it says ground on it. It is absolutely not good enough. But what I can do is go run out and use that tape dispenser that I had before. Here we are. I mean, all you need to do is just press the tape button, but... So it shouldn't fall apart too easily, but I guess this is kind of the best alternative that you have. Let's go mash this thing right in there and get down to the ground floor. Boy, that thing is just a mess, isn't it? I guess those are some pretty multi-purpose squares, aren't they? Adding in passwords to stuff. Oh, don't worry about that. I already got one. 63014. Indeed, and I had help from the fact that I played this game before. Some good music going on here. Probably should ask about the library, though, considering that is the place that is the ultimate goal of what trying to accomplish right now. Wait, you didn't actually say anything about... whatever. He's a lamplighter. Well, reasonably so, given what the general state of things is around here. And that will be coming up next time. Hit up the library and hit up the tower.